Hey guys, Sandy here, and today I am up for the Confessions of a Paper Addict cut file shop. I have two cut files here. One is a 2020 cut file with some stars on it, and I do believe it is called 2020. And then I also have this background cut file, which is called Sparkle or Sparkler. I'll have to double check. I'll put it down below in the description. But I am going to show you guys that it's super easy to just get some cut files going. I know that I've heard a lot of people say that they're too tedious. There's a lot of things that you can do with them that'll make them quick and easy, and I just want to show you one. So this is the background, and this is going to be my 2020 title page. So let's see what I can do. All right, you guys, I am super excited to be sharing this layout with you. Right now, I have pulled out my Distress Oxide inks, and I am inking up the Sparkler cut file background. And all I'm doing is taking the ink and placing it in various places on my page, and I'm not really worrying about blending it too much right now because I'm just dropping the stuff where it goes. I'm going to use ultimately 4 different colors, dark purple, lighter purple, and 2 blues, both a lighter and a darker blue. So this is where I'm going to start worrying about the blending. So as I'm putting the 2 colors next to each other, I'm going to go back and forth with my 2 ink foam blending tools and just keep going back and forth between the 2. And what that does is it kind of creates a 3rd color so that there is the original dark purple, kind of like a mixture of both colors together, and then the lighter purple as well. And then I'm just going back and forth over this multiple times and really just trying to blend in. Now, I did go a little bit heavy with the first color, so there is that to contend with. So it does look a little tiny bit splotchy at first, but I think once I'm completely finished with it, it turns out pretty great. So that makes me ridiculously happy. Like, I really like how this corner blended together. Even right now, it looks pretty good. So I am blending super fast, and that is because I have sped up the video for you guys. I didn't cut anything out of either the blending or backing the cut file, just because I've had requests that you want to see everything. So I want to make sure you guys see everything that you want to see. So I'm dropping it down there. Now, I am recording this video in a hotel room, so if it sounds a little bit funky, just giving you guys a heads up, that is the reason why. So I'm hoping that there isn't too much background noise going on. Now, I did tape down the edges with some purple tape, and that's just to hold my paper in place. And then I'm actually using the top of the Distress Oxide ink pad to really just hold on to it so I'm not getting my fingers super inky. Now, I did, you still end up with ink on your fingers, but there's definitely not as much. And as you can see, as I'm bringing in more and more colors, the blending is looking a little bit better. It's starting to really merge into each other a lot nicer. Now, if I would have gone in with a plan, I probably could have gotten the ink to blend a lot quicker than it did. But this is a great technique to use with this kind of cut file, where it is a lot of little cuts on a big page, because you're still highlighting the cut file. So I wanted to show you guys that, like, even with these, like, you can do more than just cut out the thing on a piece of paper, back it, and throw it down on your page. Like, you can make it exciting, and using Distress Oxide is definitely one of the ways to make it exciting. And just in case you were wondering, this is not a left-handed mat. I just flipped that sucker around. Although I really do want to get the left-handed mat because I usually keep my inks and stuff on the left-hand side, and also on the top, as you can see here. So, maybe what I really need is a mat that is completely black all the way around, because I have the majority of the inks on the left, but they're kind of going around in a semicircle as well. So here I am, I'm just mixing the colors back and forth, until I'm happy with the blend. Now, I could sit here and blend and blend and blend and blend and blend and blend, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to blend it to where I think it looks cool. And I think that it is awesome the way that it turned out. So my biggest tip is if you decide to play around with the Distress Oxides or really any other inks that you want to blend, just play. Like, just play. Don't think like you're like, oh man, that is a harsh line, I'm never going to be able to get it to blend. Just keep playing, because you will eventually get it to blend, and you can always cover it up. So if you have a section that is just, you're like, man, I don't know what went wrong here, just cover it up. And then remember, when you're blending, you want to use basically complementary colors, or colors that will blend into each other nicely. You don't want to make mud. So just be aware of that. Now, I could have done this in like a blue and yellow and green, and then the yellow and the blue would have mixed together and make a whole other green, but I was kind of going for like the night starry sky, kind of like that time between sunset and when it's dark, and you know, the sky is just gorgeous. So that's what I was going for with this. Now, as you can see, I do have those little marks where the purple tape was on it. No worries about that, because I'm going to trim this paper down. All right, so now that I've got that done, it is time to clean up just a little bit, and we're just going to make that happen. So we're just going to get this cleaned up, put my little foam squares away, and then we are going to move this stuff out of the way, and then I'm going to trim it down. Now, I'm just trimming it to make sure that I don't have any of the white parts showing through, and I actually do trim a little bit of the cut file cutouts doing that, but I'm okay with that. It's going to look awesome. So I have this old glitter paper that came from a paper pad from Michael's a while ago. I just used my grid mat to cut it down to the size that I need. And then we are going to, look, there's that one. You see the little star up there that came out of the page? I am using a tape runner, and never fear, I have not switched from the ATG, but my ATG ran out, and honestly, I could not be bothered to refill it because I wanted to get this page done because I was loving it that much. So it's just a matter of getting it on there. So now I have the white backgrounds, I also have the white 2020, and then we need to go ahead and cut file that up. I decided that I did not like the white background. It just didn't pop enough, so I grabbed instead a piece of black cardstock, because I was going to back the 2020 in black as well. So I needed to have the black somewhere else on the page, and I didn't want to feel like the 2020 was just kind of floating out there and there was no containment to the layout itself. Now, I could have cut this out, the 2020 in black as well, and then I could have done kind of like a cut file inlay, but I decided to not go with inlay because I really enjoy backing the cut files like this. I think it's a lot of fun. So that one I wasn't paying attention to where I needed to cut, and I cut on the wrong side of the line. This one I watched a little bit more carefully, and then that way, look, works great. So we're gonna go ahead and trim this down and finish that up. Now, I am using a pen blade for the inside of the zero, and that is something that I would definitely recommend, is the pen blade. They work so awesomely. They're really easy, they're easy to keep safe. You don't have to worry about your X-Acto knife cover falling off and like reaching into your thing and accidentally cutting your finger. Not that I would know anything about that at all. Now, this is some gold mirror cardstock, and I want the stars to be gold. I want it to have a little bit of a pop. So I just trimmed down the stars, and we're gonna pop those on each one. And I'm also using some Connect glue from Gina K, because my beloved Nuvo deluxe adhesive had run out. It had truly run out, and I had not replaced it yet. Now, I do like the Gina K Connect adhesive. I just, as you can see, had to pop it open with a hairpin because it did kind of clog up. So I am using my pen blade again on the little stars because of the gold mirror. If you're using your scissors, it can cause it to kind of like buckle. And we don't want that buckling to happen at all. So we're adding the Quick Connect glue. We're going to pop on the 0, and then I'm just going to repeat that for every single number. Now, if you're interested in this 2020 cut file and the stars might not be your thing, there is, this cut file comes with 2 different versions of the 2020. It comes with the stars and it also comes without the stars. And it's all in the same cut file. So you can do it that way. You could also size up the 2020 without the stars and just do it underneath. But like I said, I do enjoy backing a cut file, so this is what went down. The pen blade is super sharp, cutting through that gold mirror super easily, and I'm really happy with how the stars are coming out. Now, you could have decided to do a different color on the stars instead of the gold, because the glitter paper underneath of the cut file, the sparkler cut file down there, has a silver glitter to it, and I am using gold. Now, I'm a person that has no problem whatsoever mixing the silver and gold. I actually like to mix silver and gold, especially at Christmas time, but definitely just in layouts as well. Metallics can be mixed, so I just want to like give you the power to do that. Not that you really need my permission or anything, but sometimes it's really good if you just hear someone say, yeah, you can do that, do whatever you want. And then, you know, sometimes it just clicks where you're like, you know what, darn right, I can do whatever I want. So hopefully that is what helps you out just a little bit. Now, like I said, I am recording this in my hotel, so if there's a little bit of background noise or you hear some people talking or laughing, that is there. I just had a huge group of people walk by, so I hope I was good enough in my editing to take out everything that they were saying, because whoa. Okay, so here we go. We've got the 2 going on here as well, and now we're down to 20. And speaking of 2020, have you guys heard that when you date things, like, you shouldn't date it as 1/15/20, you should date it as 1/15/2020, because it's super easy for somebody to just add 2 more numbers onto the date and make it like 2017, 2018. That is just something that I heard of, and I was like, whoa. So I have definitely been doing 2020 instead of 20 on documents and things, especially at work. I don't know how like valid that concern is. I'm sure there is some bit of a concern there, so you know, it is what it is. Now I'm just getting these stars done up, and these little bits take much longer to do than big bits. And the pen blade, I do have to say, has made it a lot easier and a lot quicker, so I'm not really worrying about that whatsoever. Cutting out around that 0 one more time, and then I will show you guys the entire layout super soon, because it doesn't take much time to do this. Now, this layout in real time took me about an hour to do, and that is including the backing the cut file and the ink blending, which are both a little bit of time-consuming tasks to do on a page, but sometimes you just want your page to be a little bit special and you make things happen. My title pages are something that I do on a regular basis for our yearly albums, and sometimes I have to make multiple title pages, like our 2018 has like 6 albums that has to be done. All right, and as you can see, that was a little sneak peek there of how it is turning out. I think it's turning out super cute. And what I normally do with these title pages is I create one, and then the rest of them all coordinate. They don't always coordinate together, but I do enjoy, like after the initial one, to kind of coordinate. And I will use the same kind of color scheme on the title pages, but it will be a little bit different. And they will all say like part 1, part 2, part 3, all that kind of stuff. And then they also go on the spines of the albums as well. So we got one more star to get finished, and then one more number 2, and then I will show you what I do to complete the layout. Now I did toy with the idea of putting a family picture on this page, but as you guys know, I am someone who has no problem doing pages without photos, especially layouts with cut files without photos. If you haven't seen the turkey, go check out the turkey. So here we go. We are just trimming down the two to make sure that we don't have anything poking out. And we're going to use that connect glue one more time, dropping it down there and then busting it out. So I'm super excited to show you this layout. Like, I really just loved it. And as you can see, I didn't do that great of a job, so I do have a little bit of the black cardstock showing through. So again, I'm just using my pen blade to cut that out. And then it's just a matter of figuring out where exactly I want the 2020. And I want the 2020 to have a little bit more oomph, even though it has that gold mirror, even though it has that deep pop of black. So I am using some foam squares, and I'm just putting them all along the back of this die cut, or this cut file, because I don't want it to fall. I want it to have plenty of oomph and plenty of stability behind it, so that it turns out great. And then I just have to peel off every single one of these squares, and look at me, you guys should be so proud of me because I'm not just throwing them. Well, look, I started throwing them. Okay, never mind, don't be proud of me. I was originally putting them in the trash can, but you know, now they're just kind of like whoop, thrown out everywhere. So there we go. And then we pop it down on the page, and I lift it up to make sure that I love it, and I love it. And that's going to be it, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to check out the Confessions of a Paper Addict shop. Right there is the website, and I will see you guys again real soon.